Welcome to this session on the dangers of cyber influences. The Bible says in Ezekiel 33 and verse 6, "But if the watchmen see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand." There's very little doubt that the computer and all that comes with it are here to stay. No one is going to be able to get rid of that influence that is on our world today. And as our children are growing up in a world that is awash in remarkable digital technology, and our world is continually becoming controlled by the cyber influences of our day, whether good or bad, we need to be prepared for it. Although the computer, the cell phone, iPads are versatile and useful tools, we have to be careful not to allow ourselves and our students to be drawn into the negative aspects of the cyber world, especially when it comes to social media. So, I would like to look today at 12 truths about social media. Number one, it distorts reality. Trivial things are amplified to be important. I mean, let's face it. Do you and I really care what the lady 3 streets over from us bought at the grocery store yesterday? It amazes me sometimes the things that people will post on social media. Even the photos that people post of themselves can be trusted to be accurate. A person can create an alternate reality of their life. But because we never see them in real life, we will never know. There have been naive, trusting people who have even fallen in love by using the social media with someone they have met on social media. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that there are some relationships that were started because of a connection on social media, and I know people that actually happened with them and they had very successful relationships. But the bottom line is this. Sometimes they discover later that the person that they have been chatting with is actually a felon, or worse yet, a stalker. I think the thing that's important to see here is that a life spent predominantly online is a life increasingly untethered from reality. The second truth of social media: it causes shallow relationships. Few in-depth conversations are taking place. I'll never forget, a few years ago, I was at a restaurant. It was just at some fast food restaurant, and I looked over and I saw a young couple sitting there. And it was comical because they were sitting there and they looked like, wow, this must be a young couple that they were holding hands. I'll give them that much credit. They were holding hands, but with the other, they both had their phones, their smartphones, and they were texting. Now, I don't think they were texting back and forth to each other. I do know this: they weren't having any kind of conversation, but they were not involved in deep discussion with each other. They were both either playing games or on a social media site. But, we have to be careful because these shallow relationships that can be caused by social media involvement, we won't discuss the deep truths of life with others on social media that we would if we were in a deep conversation with them. Or if we're posting pictures of our cat and a selfie of us in front of the latest restaurant we visited. That's some shallow things, to be honest with you. We don't have access to the visual cues that would judge the sincerity of what is being spoken. Sometimes I can't help but think when you read a post, you just think, boy, if I could just see their face, I could really tell if they were being genuine with me. A third truth of social media. There is no face-to-face accountability for comments. A person can say anything they choose to about any person or any situation. And they can even control the comments that come back to their site. Let me give you an example of a recent incident that happened. The first person posted on her social media page that COVID-19 does not really exist, and it's just simply a scam by the government to manipulate people with a fear campaign. Now, I'm not here to try and discuss whether I agree with that or not agree. I just want to bring a point across to you of accountability. The second person, who was a nurse, also posted, and she answered her post. And she said, I just came off of a 30-hour shift at the hospital trying to save the life of an elderly woman who had been suffering from COVID-19. Although we did everything we could, she did not make it through the night. So please, don't tell people that COVID-19 is not real. Well, the first person on the original post did not respond to the second person, and then deleted the nurse's response from her page, leaving her original message on her page. If people don't agree with us, we can just simply delete them. And therefore, there's no accountability for comments that are being made.